Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, amazing, spectacular, wondrous, magical, almost magical Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda here of sight, defender of the fatherland, off here to a 1v1 owner. Langraskaya, again, we just had a hotfix. I'm surprised we were able to get out something so fast. But yeah, basically, hotfix out to fix Stormtroopers being bugged by the way. They wouldn't, when you upgrade the MP40s, they wouldn't actually have the MP40s, which significantly loaded them down. And there was also issues with not all maps being added properly, not all maps being removed properly. Anyways, we got in the North Old Mate fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union here with GARP Motor, with T-35s, GARP Hay Mortars, GARP Rifleman, Vehicle Repair Training, and Mark Vehicle. And he's actually not in the North, that's where the German is, but yeah, he's in the South, and I meet. But anyways, taking on the role here of the 3rd Guards Mechanized Corps in the North versus FK9DD, who is in the North, fighting for the Wehrmacht Germany, Deutschland, rolling out here with the, let's just go with the 5th SS Panzerdivision Viking here with elite troops featuring stun grenades or concussive grenade stormtroopers, Jägerlight infantry upgrades, Panzer Tactician, and the Tiger Race. First shot for the mission point here is the Conscript rush into the building here, denying it to FK9DD, creating a bit of a problem there for them to deal with. More Conscripts for Old Mate, and we got the grenade squad out there for FK9DD, which of course see where this overall goes. Conscript East was there, and before Truth was ready here. Still, disruptive player by Old Mate, really hoping to frustrate FK9DD and become able to make some more mistakes or whatnot. Definitely an aggressive start there, and Unity on the west are having a nice time with no fascists in sight. We send to the MD42 with East in sight. Getting hammered here and immediately retreats. Quick response there by Old Mate. Very good. Pioneers being about here, but worrying. Basically keeping a distance from the conscripts, but at the same time allowing them to do what they want either entirely. Western point secured. Eastern field point secured there by the respective sides. More grenadiers out here for FK9DD and Deutschland. Constantly out here looking for an opening, but instead went around to the grenadier squad here. Machine gun ultimate support here. Backing off here. Got a problem back into the building there, create a new issue again for FK9DD. On the west side, points being seized here. More engineers for Old Mate, triple conscript, double engineers, fairly standard stuff. I imagine that FK9DD will go for a 3rd grenadier squad here. There we go, die 3. Grenadier. Gruppe. Pioneers being run straight for the center, and west side engineers for the grenadiers there. 2nd engineer squad ready there for Old Mate. Finding Scarp on a perfect there, plus his field point indirectly as well there. Good push there by FK9DD. Old Mate's little plan here though. Might be able to work out this flanks then for 2 3rd grenadiers. We're almost done. FK9DD should probably take up stacks. Engineers there routed. Got the carve point. Could probably run onwards, I think. Quickly run to the next point. But yeah, right position is collapsing in the face of Old Mate's maneuver there. MD42 I think was a bit too static there. Probably should be more aware of the flanks. And probably also, well, probably should have dispatched more forces to assist here. That said, it's obviously not all lost. But it does mean his little maneuver here on his opponent's resources perhaps not quite as lovely as he thought it to be. Almost getting conscript wiped here though. He's quick turn around to the other conscript. Squad tech on the way there. Pioneers doubling back now. Going for the Flamen of the Alpha. Then here's the conscripts there. Back here troops reinforcing. Tech slowly on the way. Then he's routed. Grabbing some fuel point here. Even of course trying to get western fuel point. We also get access to the concussive grenade now, which is basically just a Stielhandgranate. I mean, it was technically what you call a concussive grenade, and actually, you need this, like, you know, fit sleeves, a specific type of sleeve on to, like, get a fragmentation grenade. Technically, concussive grenade, you know, if it doesn't kill you, can, you know, you're fairly stunned. But, you know, details. Grenadiers in before to forwards here. Almost got the western fuel point. Banker up there for FK9DD. Conscript being hammered here, taking heavy fire from both the towards the grenadiers. Conscript was wiped out. Also, no quick thank you to my patron supporters. You're wonderful people. Other people can join the way from pledging on Patreon. They all just donate, and you comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button. Eastern fuel point has ceased for the glory of the Red Army. Graham the Western fuel point they almost got as well. Support company up there. Got a maximum out here. They did lose a counter score, which is definitely a bit rough for Old Mate in the early game here. Great kill of FK9DD. Can also soon be in, say, going for G for defeat on his grenadiers, like the mechanized company. And of course, he could also consider the stormtroopers now that they have been fixed. Bit awkward that you're going for stormtroopers, then you suddenly realize, hang on, they don't have the MP40s. And worst of all, you have to be told that because you weren't paying attention yourself because you're so used to that you don't think about it. Which is doubly embarrassing. Moving up the eastern side here before support as well. There are more conscripts for Old Mate. Medics almost done there. We shall see if, of course, Likely going to go for the armoured car though. Could also go for regular half-track. Wouldn't be a bad choice. Yeah, likely going to go for the 2-2. The like to punch HP wagon. Machine repositioning a bit again. That is bring up there. No G for the fees for the Grenadier. All making down fuel. More controls out there. 400 to replace the losses. Could also wait a bit longer, maybe go for a guard squad instead. FK9DD responds here to the Maxim with a mortar, a Granatenwerfer. Pioneers bring that back up at the MB42. Engineers being a bit suppressed. Pioneers quickly banging off the rail from the court line of fire of the Maxim. Very simple there. Could launch a multi-pronged attack here to clear out the building, but that set is tying up a lot of forces. And Ultimate is clearly looking to exploit that by moving up here through the centres, then get behind FK9DD's main force, go for the car point. Then he's going up here, needs to get the Pioneers squad in there. Oh, he's attacking from the other angle, probably should attack from here. That's a bit of a slip up there, I think, by FK9DD. There you go, Matt cuts it off. Stunning the entire lot in the flame for a minute, more firing down as well here. We'll turn the situation awkward for Ultimate. Maxim pushed down to in front. The heavy machine gun crew taking heavy damage there. Doesn't get wiped though. On the other hand, we've still got the flank here going up through the centre, outmaneuvering the machine gun and the Pioneers. Rather ruining an otherwise, I think, nicer setup push there by FK9DD and making, well, less nice. Still no sign of vehicles here from FK9DD. Troops reinforcing. Still no upgrades for the Grenadiers either. Meanwhile, Ultimate keeping up pressure here. Back in his base. Nothing further happening except we got medics on the way now. Bit of a belated short there. I think the console wipe though probably, you know, delayed that from happening. Also they're back in action immediately, of course. Grabbing us some point and center points here. Good return here from Ultimate. Also got some flare mines off. Mortify almost in the conscripts, but only gets Dimitri a bit dirty. Later be chewed out by the side, you know that one. There you go, troops reinforcing healing. Moving westwards here, the engineers. Not fully reinforced though. So FK9DD needs to like push back hard and get back to ground here from Ultimate. And Max counter squad up here. Maximum up through the centre. Likely it could be a really good choice if FK9DD to somehow regain mobility and initiative versus Ultimate again. Personally, I'd go for the 250 half-track, but the armor car is of course the, you know, standard choice for a lot of ML players. It's quite solid, obviously. You know, he cancels it for a pack 40, worrying about Ultimate rushing out T7 against him, which I think is, well, obviously a bit misplaced a bit, I think. He should have been aware of his fuel control active versus opponents. I don't think the pack 40 is that necessary, but that's just me. I mean, at this point, the Brits obviously go for a pack 40 because 90% of the time, by the time you got an armored car, the Brits already got their AC, at which point, you know, your armored car's going to do bugger all. But against the Surge, you know, with a good pressure and situation here like FK9DD didn't manage, I don't think this is a huge risk of a fast T70 here. That said, obviously the pack 40 will be handy down the road, but I think there's a strong argument for you to push for something a bit more motorized first or mechanized. We got one for this one equipped with the G for the feet, very good. Getting another G for the upgrade as well, very good as well, control around it. For those wondering what is the difference between the G for the feet and the light machine is besides cost, you can technically interrogate troops with it, meaning wounded troops can provide you with little information, but they also, G for the feet are better on the move since they can fire on the move, the light machine cannot. They have more damage in sort of short to mid range. But the light machine gun just has more burst damage, like just more quickly impact, but again, in a long, you know, decent short mid-range engagement, the G for the fuse typically will win. It's also a fine bet for, like, you know, wiping out units, since again, it's better for keeping up pace and you're getting shots off on a retreating unit, so there are some, you know, disadvantages and advantages in different things. Console almost right up with the MB42, you're going to need semi-autism range, pretty good stuff there. Very close call there for FK9DD, and Ultimate, but then didn't quite work out there for FK9DD the way around. Mortar firing down. Ooh, almost got off the mortar. Oh, the mine, not the mortar. Tees and light tank leather plus more Pioneers for FK9DD. Probably a mine sweeper. Very sensible. Guess it's going to go for a faster armored push here. Definitely a strong idea there from FK9DD. Something quality with the G for the people in Grenadiers. The Gewehr 43. An improvement over the G41 or Gewehr 41. Which had some issues, and so they went up with the G43, which used the firing mechanism of the SPD-40 semi-automatic rifle. Moving about here, grabbing some point there. Mortar firing away. See something else well here for Ultimate. One firing the maximum, great hit there, gets one kill, but also leaves the rest of the team very heavily damaged. Veterans 1 getting the Grenadier effort. Second hit not quite as impressive, but the max was close being wiped out here at this rate. There we go, sliver of health left. Could perhaps finish it off here, and nope. Close call there, but not enough. FK9DD probably wants to start considering taking up fast, maybe rushing out Stu kit to counter the T7 in Ostwind. He's out there concentrated by the Pioneers, going to want them to deal with that. Con's going for the carve button again. He might want to consider, like, you know, eventually some S-mines or something else to deal with that. To make this a bit harder. Finished by the Con's going for the Eastern Point. Concussive Grenade here probably allow the Grenades to beat win engagement. Otherwise, I think, yeah, perhaps a bit too low here to win against the conscripts. Otherwise, the G for the freeze. A fun round here. Grenades team with the conscript there with ease. And before to joining in the fun as well. Gently cover the Grenadiers. We do get take there for FK9DD. So good, so good. Back in old mate's base. Just mostly a matter of reinforcements. T7 hold back. We got 436 with 368. Can't move immediately for the Eastern fuel pump. We got to go to deal with that. Just reinforcing healing. And getting D50 from those as well. Very good. No sign of Stormtroopers here for FK9DD or Panzer Grenadier. I think either of those two will do quite well against all these conscripts, as they do both perform quite well against. But again, D43 Grenadiers definitely aren't bad either. Mortar firing down there. Ooh. Good thing there's no friendly fire on those. More concussive grenade here I think could be a good idea to get the engagement in favour here of the Grenadiers though. And forced retreat since again D33 upgrade was simply too slow. So I used the fuel pawn there, which is great for old mate, but obviously a bit of a pain in the FK9DD. That said, you can still build the support core and have a relatively fast Stuttgart, which would I think give the T7 a bit of a hard time, but also shut down any further armour. Would force, I think, old mate into certain responses here. So I think a Stug Rush would be an optimal choice. It's not something most players ever consider, but it can be surprisingly effective since, again, most players never expect the fast Stug 3G. And again, it can be quite useful just quickly hunting down, you know, say a light tank or something like that and finishing off there before the opponent can react, or a half tank or whatnot. Obviously, it's not great in all situations, but there's, I think, the first amount of situations where fast Stug is fairly solid. But he probably won't go for that. He's probably going to go for the Panther 4, which is fine. It's nice, safe, solid, all that. But, you know, it's not a fast Stug. Got it from the... There. Gun is the conscripts. Engineers actually the conscripts got wiped out here. Again, D33 gun is backed up with the mortar. Are surprisingly stalwart combatants here against old mate's forces. Ultimately on the west side here with the Pioneers with the Minesweepers. Thumbs up there for FK9DD. Engineers in the centre routed. Probably want to pull back those Grenadiers for some reinforcements. And otherwise you should prioritise, I think, right now getting that support cop and having it ready. As for old mate, pushing for a mechanised armour company in the near future would not be half bad either. Reinforcing healing. My god, how can one man have so many shots in his buttocks? I don't know what to say, the Russians just kept shooting there. I don't know why, they just refused to shoot anywhere else, which saved my life. But I suspect my buttocks are lost forever. Ground center point with the conscripts, a pommer core going up there for FK9DD. No response to the fuel point push of movement there, mortar firing away there, still 5 kills, 22. Grab the car pump as a Grenadier. Conscript engagement on the eastern side. Guardsman holding up there. DP light machines equipped. Very good. Maxim holding up there. Ooh, smoke screen. Expecting the Maxim to be there. He probably doesn't expect the, well, guard squad there. Flare mount goes up as well there. That's definitely going to make this engagement much tougher there with FK9DD. He can go for the Panda 4 now. Up close, the Grenadiers should also have the advantage of the guardsman anyways. With the DP light machines less great. And of course, the T-50 Grenadiers really pack a punch there. Those Rangers. Grenade off. Gets a kill. Constant up, the Engineers pinned down, need support here. I might want to pop the insane artillery. Actually, that's too late. He needs to get it out there before the Flameforce light on fire. He needs to get that Panther Fort as well. Nice one, the Grenadiers. Machine gun routed. Go we go. Panzer Kampfwagen 4 on the way there. FK9DD and Deutschland. When it's the country there, pack forward in a bit of a tight spot. More torches to get the hell out of there. As old mate increases pressure on the right flank here. Definitely got that Panther fort a bit sooner. Also, of course, he was rather tied up the front line, but you know, the faster the better. Goes for the concepts here, just executing them in cold blood. Let's defeat it. Goes with defobs again. Do pack quite a punch.
The enemy has broken our supply lines.
Do pack quite the punch. Burning out the conscripts. And again, favour more aggressive tactics overall. Panther 4, they're ready though, adding the pinlock machine guns, so good, so good. We've got a demo charge in the building, very sneaky there by old mate. Thumbs up to that. Pushing for those in the again, I imagine with the march through the pioneers again, so good. Take this one for old mate, demo charge goes off. Doesn't take a swap with it, very fortunate there for FK9DD, continues to be marked routed. Hits a mine! Well done there by old mate. Wasn't expecting to immediately put that Panther 4 into a bad spot. Great, that's going to buy him some more time to get out of his own armour. And I imagine with the Panther 4 out of the field, he's going to go for the T-45 since that one is superior to the Panther 4, and only at a minor cost increase. Straight to Tier 4 though for FK9DD, that is not something I am a big fan of as always. Typically my advice is always go for 2 medium elements before you go for that. And even then, I'm still also very much in the conviction that you should just bet off taking to Panther 4, Stuks and Ostwinds than anything else out of the heavy Panther Corps. Well, maybe except the Sturm Panzer, which is fairly solid. Old mate, though, in a surprise twist here, is actually going for the Issue 6M. Oh. Can't say I saw that one coming. I mean, it's not bad, it's just very overlooked. It's even getting buffed in the upcoming patch. Not hugely, but still getting buffed there. And certainly if you can get out a bunch of Issue 6, they're getting quite effective even like medium armor and threatening it. Fun fact, the Issue 6 was, I believe, actually designed sort of as a response in part to the Stug. Partly, I think. Maybe not actually. I can't remember the time for that one. Might be slightly off on that one. But the Issue 5, for example, was very much designed in response to the Stug. As a Surge actually also quite impressed with the Stug 3G, or the Stugs in general, not the Stug 3G specifically, but the Stugs in general. There we go, probably with the Panther 4 routed. Got the Issue 6M out there. Of course, also has artillery. Shoots, misses the Panther 4. Comes nearby, quick front with the Panther first. Panther routed with the Panther 4. Panther 4 rushing forward, Pack 40 banging up here. I'm surprised he's not just trying to solve for the T-45 out of here. That is what most players would do. Heavy Panther Corps though is now for FK9DD, which we'll see what he aims for.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
See some running about. Spot it. Got it from the Panther 1 6 and 2% for favour. Needs to maintain range against the Panther 4. Good hit, good hit. Close selection is one already. Panther 4 gets off a very nice hit return. Forcing the to back off and still got the Pack 40 opening up. Veterans 1 gained. Then he's pushed out, needs to get out the Pack 40 before it's too late here. Good hit from the Issue 6 here on the Panther 4. Almost got it there, almost got it. Looks like he's going to try it. He could use tracking here to like increase line of sight. Then I'm Issue 6 farther. Well, doesn't go for it. Still, that was pretty dicey there for the Panther 4, but also, honestly, for old mate's armour. Still no Stormtroopers are pantsing on the here for FK9DD. Here, Panther calls up, he defects up the Panther 4. Back here, reinforcing healing for old mate. Moving forwards. Picks up the Panther 4, heavy damage inflicted obviously. On both Issue 6 and T-71 unit repairs. Fun fact, this particular model of the Issue 6 with the M standing for modernized was actually more of a self-propelled artillery piece than a tank destroyer. And so at this point on the war, like the early model, which was also had a fully enclosed back area there, was much more like focused like, dealing with armor but also supporting infantry more aggressive, as this one was much more just a self-propelled artillery piece. Little fun fact there. Little fun fact there. Ground was important there. Panzer FK9DD Definitely not a fan of that one. I feel like the timing for that one is a bit weird. It's not like Old Mate has a lot of support weapons. It doesn't like blob up aggressively, so there's a chance the Panther's less great. I feel like you just might be adding something a bit heavier, like the Sturmpanzer is honestly a lot better than the Panzerwerfer. In a lot of situations anyways. So I'm a bit perplexed at the choice of the Panzerwerfer for FK9DD. I know some players just like to go for it, but you know, unless those players are Refro, I generally don't find it to be like that impressive. West side of Thyssen getting into soon getting here. German infantry out in the open. Pack gets second shot off with misses. There we go. Great hit there. Almost 22 on the F6M. 10-4 there. Slowly approaching that G2. S1 going off with some fuel pump. Almost taking out the entire control. Very good. Another hit from 6, which gains Veteran 2, which increases damage and accuracy. Definitely bad news for any German armor. T-34 from 6 on the way for Old Mate. Punch from barrage off here, forcing a route. Guard squad, they're almost taken out. End up being a bit better than anticipated. Western point being grabbed here by the Grenadier. Old Mate definitely on the defensive here against FK9DD, who's definitely getting emboldened. Yeah, the F6 has so far managed decently. It's obviously not like taking out anything, but it's only keeping FK9DD's Panzer IV bit in check. That said, I was kind of expecting to go for the T-35 here, so I mean, this is a pleasant surprise. And so far seems to be working fairly well. Decent calculations by the western field point. Controlled by the Grenadier. Then squad 1 point up to 270. Could possibly get the wipe. Going for some victory point. We got 412 versus 141. Starting to look a bit rough there for Old Mate. Need to do something a bit more drastic. We also got the mortar with 7 kills now. Close to the ace level here for FK9DD. Maximum holding back there. T-Fed falls from 60%. We got lots of sandbags here from FK9DD. At the time. Very good. Back 40 is ready. Shoots, misses the T-Fed. Got the F6 on the flank here. Could be using the Panzer IV. Oh, bombarding instead. First shot whips a bit there. Second shot goes way over the mark there. Tank will start shooting. Now that was a lot less impressive. Mortar they're gaining the east level. In the east we got contracting force, but under heavy fire from the east are finding their advance. Block, but there you go, making big push in the centre there. More machine guns nowhere to be seen. More Grenadiers, not say Panzer Stormtroopers. Pack 40 in trouble. Pack 4 the getting damage. Any communications going for it, but getting too close to the Panther 4. It is very much a chance rush getting knocked out here. Need to get some distance. But C2 gaining the Panther 4. Shoots and added. Panther barrage off here. So 4 misses the M6 there. Oh, yeah, artillery firing on the assault still. Panther 4's a good chance of getting destroyed here. Could ace level at the F6 as well by the T-Fed forcing forwards. Got the Panther 4. Pack 40 who takes out the A6, but still, that's a pretty good trade-off for me, considering the A6M costs a fraction of the Panzer IV. He still has a tank and the T-70. Meanwhile, FK9DD has a Panzerwerfer, which is not very great against armor. That said, there's good chance using the T-Fed of the Grenadiers for the Panzerfaust. Good counter-attack here by FK9DD, that still doesn't make up for the loss of the Panzer IV. Also doesn't fix, he's got a T-70 in the field to deal with, plus the Pack 40 there being maybe hold off by Old Mate as well. T-70 halfway to the ace level. Grenadiers moving 40, trying to finish it off, he's damaging it. Going back to Pack 40. Third Grenadier squad, a fourth one there cancelled. Actually a new one with light machines, he lost another Grenadier squad there. Pack 40 shoots, misses. Constantly being shot to bits. Big push here by Old Mate. And wiped. Panzer with over 7 kills. Guessing it's either going for a Sturmpanzer here or a Panther. Pack 4 they're being hauled off. Mortar back in action. We got 9 kills on that one. Old Mate is fairly well ensconced. Machine in the final way. Could try winning in the armor position around here. Don't think that'd be entirely off. Modifier there trying to snuff out the Pack 40 crew, but the shots are falling short here. Pioneers and Engineers in the west. That's going to be a win for the Engineers since they got the flame from the Pioneers, got a Minesweeper. Plus the Engineers are ace level, the Pioneers are not. Panther barrage off here, false retreating guard squad there. Almost wiped out. Whoa, those rockets really went over the place much more than usual. I'd say like Panther barrage, which is fairly impressive. Looks like he's out here going for a Panther. He might actually be trying to go for the Tiger Ace, which is fairly ambitious, to put it in a gentle manner. Troops enforcing. Panther being held back again. Quite a bit of artillery though for Old Mate, or for FK9DD with both a mortar and a Panzerwerfer. Meanwhile, Old Mate's got a good chunk of infantry. There we go. He doesn't go for the target, instead does go for the Panther, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Two swinging Engineers here by the centre fix. On the east side, we've got Engineers there. Modifying the Maxim. Sitting on Pivman's pot there. Engineers cooking up with the Engineers. Got them. But the machine is in trouble. No anti-tank gun support here. And the Panther is still some time away here for FK9DD. And Deutschland. Machine gun wiped. Sting blow there. Particular Old Mate gets away with it, which seems fairly likely at this point. Losing the Pack 40 was really a big blow here to FK9DD since he has no other way of dealing with the T7, and then going for the Panther means there's more room for the T7 and the T-Fed falls from the second before the Panther hits. Second mortar is a fairly curious choice there. Might be a misclick. But I was not entirely sure. Like, obviously, artillery is nice, but I'm not entirely sure what warrants like two mortars here. I feel like the Panther going to squad against Storms would be a much better pick than another mortar, but that's just me, I guess. Got machine gun nearly swiped out. Panther went forward, adding the Pinamite machine gun. Troops going out as well here for Deutschland, but the situation is starting to look a little more favoured in some ways for Old Mate. We shall see if the Panther proves to be the silver bullet here that FK9DD needs to put the Soviet menace to rest. Good hit on the T7 of the Panther. Good hit from the Panther on the T-Fed forcing system. We have Panzerfaust, got Pack 40 going out though. Headed down to the T-Fed fort for those Panzerfausts. Guys moving in. Almost got the T-Fed fort, but the Panther's down to less than half health. In fact, roughly a third of it. Almost lost it immediately. In fact, they're just most of the Pack 40 and the Guardsmen. Not much spacious start to that Panther, that's for sure. More firing down the lane. Some great hits here on Old Mate's infantry and support weapons. More Pioneers to assist with repairs on the Panzerkampfwagen 5. T-Fed being fixed up. T-70 dying need repairs as well here for Old Mate. And he's advancing on the centre to try and exert more pressure on the left side as well. But there it goes. Second Pioneer squad ready. Adding Minesweeper kits as well. For increased repairs, obviously. But also the ability to spot mines from Old Mate. Fixing up the Panther. Modifying the conscripts, the Frontovics. More sandbags attempted there. These retreaters going before they get taken out. Machine going out. More modifier there. 15 kills on the Ace Mortar. Conscripts are pressed. Panther's almost got to go here for FK9DD once more. Panda munitions being floated. Could consider some more mines. Definitely paying off here on the eastern field point, by the way, so definitely would be a good investment on points, I think, as well. Then he's advancing the center, getting hammered. Machine gun fire, key for the free fire, counter take care fire. Got the Panther against the T70, shoots and gets a good hit there. Very close to on that Panther. Sandbags up here to make the center more defensible. That said, I do feel like he might be time missing a bit here from Old Mate, and Old Mate certainly could also argue, I think, benefit from flanking a bit more. Grab these some fuel point there with the Frontovics. 270 versus 121. Finish the mine, take a loss. More mortar fire here from FK9DD. Got these in the field point. Could soon go for an 85 here, or could go for T-45. Let's take with the Panther. I imagine he's more tempted to go for the HG5 since it does have a good rate of fire, good penetration, good range, and that way can put a lot of pressure on the Panther from a safe distance. Again, T-Flip would also be fairly handy. Didn't get the HG5 tank destroyer. Got it from the Pack 40 on the Panther. Panther's gained mention to 1. Ground back the eastern points there. No additional mines being laid down, at least not yet. There we go, telemines. Pack 40 getting ready. Pack shot bounces off the Panther front line using the T-Sim to spot. Very good. 261 was on and 12. HG5 almost done here for Old Mate. Second shot from the Pack 40 actually goes through the 80mm of sloped Stahl. Good hit from the mortar and the Pack crew.
Su-85 tank destroyer ready.
HG5 out there for Old Mate. To the westward, there goes shot from the T-54, misses, but still convinces FK he needs to get his men to safety. Good grabs from the points here. Just telemines, S-mount looks a bit. No more to find by the western victory point here. Looks like Owen's going for a push. He's got these front ready, Pack 40 as well. The good hit on the Panther. Might even want to try to go for target weak point. He's been stunned, he's destroyed fully. Looks like he's not on that. Panther's down to half health already. 5 shoots misses, Panther barrels off. Pack 40 there. Mostly gets away from it. Guards when they're less lucky. HG5 continues the pursuit here for the Panther. T-Sim being used to spot for it. Very good. Front line is collapsing. Yes, he can't use the Panther. He's too defensive with it, so he's not trying to outmaneuver Old Mate here. Partly again, I think imagine is the lack of assault infantry to support the Panther doing such a maneuver. So he's got away without stopping the HG5. He could try and smoke the area and rush in. Might actually be his best choice. I think he's actually not throwing down smoke, he's throwing down regular barrages. Infantry holding their counter-attack. FK9DD unable to breach Old Mate's front line, but there you go, machine gun cleared out there. A small win for FK9DD and Deutschland. Engineers there for Old Mate, for the Red Army. Going for the mortar with the T-Sim and T-54 Slicks. Got the ace mortar crew wiped out. Staying below there to FK9DD. Panther moving forwards again. That's 2 almost there. East side here, contract wide up. Oh! The telemine got set off by the S-Mines. Actually, perhaps it's actually just planning all along using the... Oh, that's really sneaky there by FK9. You like that. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. And that's also the way to use telemines there. They can both be used like, catch vehicle trying to clear up the S-mine field, but at the same time, if a unit walks over it with S-mines in, they're going to set off the telemine, which then, definitely guarantees a wipe. Cheeky. So FK9DD, they're still in a bit of a tough spot. He's trying to push head. He's trying to push head on into Old Mate, but only smoke screens, I think. Exposing into a lot of firepower. Got the Panther 4 HG5 shoots, misses. Pack 40's moving out there. Damage anything there. They could try and turn around the Pack 40, go for target weak point here. I said to get off. I think there's a good chance it was the Panther. HG5 there. Still approaching that T2. Panther, mentioned 2 fact, about to get knocked out. Pop smoke, got constructing up here. Pushing straight through the centre wave. Kennedy's got no support weapons. His pack got cleared out already. Mortar firing down there. Gorman's got the Panther. HG5 there in pursuit. Pack 40 joining in as well there. It's a complete collapse here for FK9DD. In the end, the Panther just can't really do the job for him. Trying its best here. Panther have assault line of fire. There you go. Knocked out. Panther down, and with that FK9DD is down just infantry. And a mortar and some pioneers. All armour is gone. Japan has the advantage with that. Old Mate scores the win here. A glorious victory for the Red Army. A stinging defeat for the Germans. In the end, as always, don't bother with this, just go for more plentiful Stooks and stick to the mortars. I think if he just done that, I think FK9DD in a better spot, but also, he focused too much in the centre of the map here, like he should, exercise more action on the left flank and try to help maneuvers with Pern. He was also in that regard too defensive. Again, when against the so you really have to be aggressive as the Wehrmacht. Like, you need to try and gain control of the initiative as much as possible. Oldman, I'd say, played it well, also a bit unorthodox, but I think that also worked out quite well in his favour. So, there you go. Hope you got this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell family, don't channel me. And of course, do consider donating on PayPal or pledging via Patreon. Links in the description. This is Imperial Links. Cheers. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.